Something is different on your side of the room.
Yeah. Yeah, for anybody who's not on watching this on video, for just listeners, I did finally break down and get a breast reduction.
It was about time.
No, I'm in fact wearing glasses. I had turned 47 years old and decided it was time to stop doing this thing where I have to hold my phone out 3 feet from my face. Went and got an eye exam done for the first time ever, and they said, "Sir, your peepers are getting worn out."
Yeah, you don't know what you're missing until you sit down in front of that the letters, and you actually are not trying to win the contest.
They start flipping the little things on the giant thing that they put in front of your face, and you're like, "Oh, that's what that's supposed to look like." 'Cause
Yes.
it just kind of gradually goes. It's one of those things. So now I wear glasses. It's just readers and long distance glasses, not any everyday thing. But the doctor was like, "Yeah, you don't need glasses all the time right now, but you are going to." And it was just one of those. It's just one of those things that makes you feel old.
I think it's like a Gen X rite of passage right now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I got mine when I was maybe a year or two younger than you, but I went from nothing to readers to progressive bifocals.
It's one of those things that I think is it a Gen X thing to like, I probably should have gotten my eyes checked about 2 years ago, but
No, I don't
is
know.
it a Gen X thing to just go?
That's a dude thing.
Is it okay? Maybe it is just a dude thing in general, but it was one of those that was like, I don't. What do I want to do that for? I don't need to know how bad this vision actually is. What are some things that you've come? What are the things that make you feel? Because this is the biggest one for me in a while. Is other than like my kid going to college.
The thing that made me feel old was when I did the math. And if I doubled up 45, I could still get 90 when I, possibly alive.
Okay.
And I got to 48 and I doubled that and I was like 96. What kind of shape are you in at 96? Uh-oh. There's a column. I can't remember who wrote it, but there was a column out there that this guy wrote. He's like, we're living in the best time in the history of existence.
Okay.
And we may be in that sweet spot where before we run out of oil, the world has run out of oil. And it is a beautiful thing. We have electricity.
Sure.
We have oil for the rest of our lifetimes and maybe a couple of more.
Yeah.
He goes, but realistically, I want to get to like 75, have a heart attack and call it a day because I've seen what, 88 looks like when you have no family and no friends. And you're just kind of existing. He's like, I don't want that.
It can be a little rough. Of course I would venture a guess it will probably feel a little bit different once we get to 75. We're like, how about 10 more?
Yeah, how about I do that in 10 years, and then
right.
The very thought of this is why we have religion and all kinds of other things.
Goodness, yeah.
So, anyway, welcome to the club.
Yeah.
And now when you look in the mirror with much better eyes, you can see how much older that you look than what you used to.
It's the only thing that makes me feel older is when my alarm goes off every morning. We are just two middle-aged refugees from Generation X.
Man, we grew up in a time that was a lot simpler than it is today.
Could we gamble on sports back then?
No, not really. We did, but not legally. But now?
Now we can, and we can talk about it on a podcast, and we can talk about a lot of other things too.
And we're going to. I'm Lanny.
And I'm Andrew.
And this is Bet Small,
Lose Small.
I don't get to say this often enough anymore, but breaking news from yesterday. There is a quarterback that is 44 years old that is about to return to the NFL, to his last team, after playing a Hall of Fame career, I would argue, for the Chargers. And that is, yes,
Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers, who is 44 years old. For some perspective on that, I just turned 47.
Right.
And I am definitely not only 3 years out of my NFL quarterbacking days. I do agree with you that Phillip Rivers, I believe he's a Hall of Famer. I know
I think he is.
no rings on those fingers. I get it, but he was clearly one of the. He was never the best quarterback in the league, but he was always, for a period of like 15 years, one of the 3 to 5 best quarterbacks.
Yeah, I would say he was top 5 for 12 years.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, easily.
At least one of the top 5 quarterbacks.
It was that Brady, Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning era.
Carson Palmer,
who's kind of in and out, based on injury and who he was playing for. But Phillip Rivers was always in the conversation. But he's coming back. He's now he's going to be on Indianapolis's practice squad after Daniel Jones, in tragic fashion, who was already playing on
a broken leg,
playing on a fractured fibula or tibia or whatever it was, the bone in his leg, the lower part of his leg.
Yeah, well, I think
the part that's important for moving around and playing sports. He didn't look great, and then all of a sudden, in the opposite leg, he tore his Achilles,
and he walked off under his own power. Sometimes those guys don't. So let's hope for Daniel Jones that it's not a catastrophic injury.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. He's out for the season, and since it's so late in the season, the start of next season is in question. But what's in question now is the Colts. Are the Colts, who are 8-5, and we're looking like runaway winners of the AFC South. I don't think they can win the AFC South.
I think they're going to be out of the playoff conversation at this point.
I think they are too. Jacksonville goes to 9-4, and they lead the AFC South.
Here's the playoff situation for AFC South teams. Houston wins again. We'll get to that in just a second. Houston now is 8-5, tied with Indy at 8-5. Jacksonville is 9-4. Houston is rolling right now.
They're the best team in that division, I think.
They're arguably the best. They're arguably one of the 3 best teams in the AFC, I would say, just based on their defense alone, and their offense is kind of starting to come together a little bit. Although it's still pretty shaky.
They would have to come together on offense pretty quickly. But just to touch back on the Colts, Jonathan Taylor has cooled off at least some. Mm-hmm. But Riley Leonard, who is a 6th round pick, who has been mentored by Phillip Rivers, is now teammates with Phillip Rivers, who, by the way, is old enough to be his father. And not like Oops got pregnant in high school, old enough to be his father, like old enough to be his father, like if he was 20 or 21.
Yeah, and knowing how Phillip Rivers rolls, you never know. Could actually be one of Phillip Rivers has
I think you should do a visual on these people.
He has a lot of Phillip Rivers has a lot of kids.
Well,
not in the same way that like Stephon Diggs has a lot of kids.
Oh my gosh, Stephon Diggs has multiple pregnancies going at once.
Let's right the ship here. So yeah, the Colts are in bad trouble now. In fact, Riley Leonard, as far as I'm seeing, is the only quarterback on the active roster right now.
Correct.
Riley Leonard is a rookie, a 6th round pick out of Notre Dame. Was pretty good in college. I'm not sure that anybody ever expected him to turn into a starting caliber quarterback, but he's going to have to be that if the Colts have any chance now. And I just in the last 3 weeks, the way that division has flipped is staggering. I mean, the Colts have lost, I think it's 3 in a row now.
Yeah.
They were 8-1 at one point. Now they're 8-4.
They're 8-5.
The 8-5. Okay, so they've lost at least 3 in a row, possibly 4 in a row. We probably should know this if we're going to be professionals, but it doesn't matter. Nobody's watching this. And the way that Houston has come, the way that Houston has turned their season around on the strength of their,
and it was time.
Yeah, on the strength of their defense alone, Houston is now, I would say, the favorite in that division. If Jacksonville, there's nothing about Jacksonville that I trust.
No, gosh, no.
And it's starting to look like Indianapolis at 8-5. They are technically not even in the playoff conversation.
Here's a problem for all of these teams. Jacksonville has won 4 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Houston has won 5 in a row, and Indy has lost 3 in a row. Mm-hmm. There's your streaks.
Yeah.
Who
did the Colts play this week? Who was that they lost?
They lost to the Jags. That was the critical thing.
That was a
critical
game.
Piece of information there.
Man, what a turn! That's a season changing game between Jacksonville winning and Daniel Jones going out for the season. That's a huge game.
I want to talk about comebacks just for a minute.
Okay.
There's a great joke on Parks and Rec. Go look it up. I'm not going to repeat it. It's a blooper from Parks and Rec, and you have to see it.
Okay. Noted.
Name the last comeback that you were really bought in for, because I think if Phillip Rivers plays this year,
mm-hmm.
that is going to be appointment television for me.
That's going to be bonkers. Yeah. So you're talking player comeback.
Player comeback.
Ooh, man.
There's some historic ones.
Are we talking all sports? Like, we're talking boxing? Are we talking
boxing is a little different.
MMA? Like,
no, not MMA.
Okay.
I don't know enough about it.
Okay.
Boxing has had multiple comebacks. Like Sugar Ray Leonard retired and came back. He had a detached retina, and he ended up coming back.
Yeah.
Then finally, he came back and got his dick knocked in the dirt.
Holyfield had the comeback.
He had the retirement and the comeback. George Foreman is probably the greatest comeback story of all time.
Sure. Yeah.
He retires and he comes back like years later and climbs to the top of the mountain, knocks Michael Moore out with a 1-2 punch,
mm-hmm.
becomes the world heavyweight champion at age 44.
A much differently shaped George Foreman.
Yeah, he was a much bigger guy, but the power was still there.
Oh yeah.
He knocked Michael Moore straight out.
Yeah.
And then he had some really competitive fights with some of the best fighters in the world.
Yeah.
So boxing has, a storied annals of stories of comebacks. But if we're talking about basketball, football, or baseball,
the team sports, basically. They're just the team sports.
Yeah. Michael Jordan comes to mind.
Michael Jordan comes to mind.
I'm talking about the Wizards comeback, not
right.
the Bulls.
Not the Bulls
sabbatical.
comeback that we knew that he was going to come back after he served his suspension. I remember being most excited about the Magic Johnson comeback in the 90s.
That was, like that brings tears to my eyes thinking about that, because I know exactly where I was when Magic retired. I was a senior in high school.
You remember why? You remember exactly why, and the tragic story behind that.
Contracted HIV in a period of time where we didn't understand exactly what HIV or AIDS was. There was more fear than truth out there at the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I remember that All-Star game. Who was it? That Isaiah Thomas kissed him on the cheek.
Yeah.
You remember that?
I do remember that. I just remember. I remember all of the craziness around it. Like everybody, like there were guys that were like, "I'm not playing in the game against him. Like I don't want to catch AIDS off of his sweat or something." Like nobody knew that stuff then.
Right. He ended up playing in the Olympics. He played for the Dream Team of 90. He played for the original Dream Team, 92.
Yeah.
So that was part of it. But he ended up coming back and playing like power forward / point guard for the Lakers for maybe a couple of seasons.
It was a rough watch.
He was good, but he was a much bigger guy.
He was bigger, and he was past his prime. It wasn't like
I don't know that he was past his once you put it down, it's hard to pick it back up.
Yeah. What was the age that he came back?
I'd have to look, but I think it was like 33, 34.
Okay.
Like
Well, it wasn't 44.
No.
And if Phillip Rivers can manage to come back and play meaningful football in any, like, what's the best case scenario for Phillip Rivers and the Colts at this point?
Phillip Rivers comes back. He does not start this week. He starts the next week for the Colts. and they look competent, and he looks competent. That's the best case scenario. I think the worst case scenario is Phillip Rivers comes back. He has forgotten a little bit about how fast the game is, and he gets his head, knocked off, and then we have a really bad story.
So, you want to talk about a storyline. So if he doesn't come back this week, we're going into Week 15. The Colts play Sunday afternoon at Seattle. Okay,
which they will not win that game.
That is going to be tough.
They'll be 8-6 after that.
It's going to be a rough go. It's going to be a rough go for the Colts this week. Week 16,
they host the
49ers on Monday Night Football. On Monday Night Football.
That would be a hell of a place for Rivers to come back.
Man,
wouldn't it?
are you watching? You're watching every
Absolutely.
single. I'm in there for the pregame on that one.
The Colts' end of season is brutal. They went to the Jags, who were 8-3 or 8-4 at the time. No, let's go back. Let's go back 3 games. Their last easy game was the Falcons, which was November 9th. They since played at the Chiefs. They hosted the Texans. They went to the Jags. Now they go to the Seahawks, who may be the best team in the NFL. Record-wise, point differential-wise, they have an argument.
Yeah.
Then they host the 49ers, who are 9-4. Then they host the Jags, who are 9-4. That is a must-win. And then they go to the Texans in another must-win.
Oof.
That's the rest of their season.
I don't see 10 wins.
I think they're 1-3 in those games at best.
At best, I think that's the best they can hope for.
And that
It's
makes
just to get to. Whew, man, yeah, they're in. This is bad.
that makes them 9-8.
God, it seems like a year ago that we were talking about like Daniel Jones in the MVP conversation.
Yeah,
Jonathan Taylor in the MVP conversation.
which is more like 6 weeks ago.
That's over.
Yeah,
that's over now.
That's over.
Ooh, man,
The Colts are done.
I think the Colts are out. In fact, from a gambling perspective, since we are somewhat a gambling podcast,
Somewhat.
I'm looking up. I'm going to be looking up some Colts to miss the playoffs odds.
Yeah, I think they will be. They'll be in the plus territory. They'll be in the minus territory.
Yeah.
We'll have to look up in a second.
Probably.
Let's just go over some of the games, starting with last Thursday's Cowboys-Lions. We thought the Cowboys were going to be more competitive than that.
Yeah. The final score, 44-30, and Dak throwing for 376 yards doesn't really tell the whole story there. Detroit's defense was all over the Cowboys' offense from the get-go.
Yeah.
This was not as close. I mean, 14 points isn't all that close. It wasn't even that close. Dallas looked beat. They looked like a team that was coming in on 4 days of rest, which Detroit didn't, and that's just the difference. Well, okay, wait. Were both of these teams? Did they both play on Thanksgiving? This is a week after Thanksgiving.
No, they weren't on short rest, but
they were both on.
They're on a week's rest.
Anyway, Dallas looked like they were on short rest.
I think that was the Dallas. It was a nice story for a few weeks, but they're done.
You think that's it for Dallas?
That's it.
They sit now at 6-6-1.
Their only path to the playoffs is they have to beat the Eagles.
So Philadelphia sits right now at 8-5.
Yeah.
That is, and I figured this out the other day. Did you know that when they're calculating standings, a tie counts as half a win? Did you know this?
I did not know.
So the Cowboys they're calling them 500 because they're 6-6-1. They've played 13 games,
Okay.
and they have 6.5 wins out of those 13 games. So they could finish 10-6-1, and if Philly finishes 10-7, Dallas wins the division.
Yeah, so the Cowboys host the Vikings this week, who just gobble stomped
Washington.
They beat the tar out of the Washington Commanders.
I didn't watch a ton of that game. I don't know how much you can tell about either team from that. That doesn't. What does that tell me?
I think it tells you the Commanders gave up a little bit.
I think it tells you the Commanders have a giant fork sticking out of their backs.
Dallas is favored 5.5 on ESPN, which is now DraftKings. Then they host the Chargers, and the Chargers are in every game as a must-win for the Chargers at this point.
Yeah.
Then they go to Washington, and then they go to New York Giants. So I see that as 3-1.
Okay.
So that puts the Cowboys at 9-6-1.
9-7-1.
9-7-1.
9-7-1.
Yes, 9-7-1.
Is that enough?
Well, let's look at
Is that enough to catch Philly? Because
Philly has to win one more. No, they have to win two more to lock it up.
They have to win two more to lock it up.
They have the Raiders coming to town. That is an automatic loss. Then they go to Washington.
Wait. The Philly has the Raiders coming to town. That's an automatic win.
It's an automatic loss for the Raiders.
You said loss. I was like
automatic. Okay. It's an automatic win for the Eagles.
Yeah.
Then they go to Washington, and they're going to be heavily favored in that. And then they're at the Bills, and then they host the Commanders again.
Okay.
So I think the Cowboys are done.
Okay.
The Cowboys, in my mind, are definitely done.
The only argument I'll make against that is we both watched that Monday night game last night, and we have a whole other thing to talk about in relation to the Monday Night Monsters, Inc. extravaganza alternate broadcast, which was bananas.
Let's
save it. Those teams both looked like they were half asleep. It was a derp fest.
It was terrible.
It was terrible.
Like turnover after turnover after turnover.
Turnovers on one, like a turnover on a play where the ball was already turned over once.
2 turnovers in one play.
And Hurts looked bad. The Chargers didn't look that much better. I mean, it really just was like, it was one of those games where it was like, you go ahead. You want to win this? You want us to? You go ahead. And we'll win it. It's okay. And then finally at the end, Hurts throws an interception in overtime in the red zone when they were down 3. All they had to do was not turn the ball over and kick a field goal and hopefully play for the tie.
Which you hate.
Which, whatever. But that's the play. And Hurts throws an unconscionable pick in the red zone in overtime.
I don't think the Eagles are going to get caught by the Cowboys.
Okay.
I just don't think they will.
I can't argue with that.
But I don't think the Eagles are very good.
No, I don't think the Eagles are very good either. Boo-hoo for them. They just won the fucking Super Bowl. So, I'll
nobody's crying.
I'll scold the Philly fans who were probably 60% of SoFi Arena last night. Stop booing your team. Stop booing your team. You won the Super Bowl. Stop booing your team. But they're not as good this year. And their offense, I don't know what the deal is with their offense. Why can't they get that offense going?
I think they have a running back problem.
Do you think Saquon you think he's having
I think he's just, he's hit that proverbial wall.
Well, yeah.
That doesn't mean he can't be explosive. That doesn't mean he's not going to have some big plays, but I just don't think he is. He's got the Derrick Henry thing where he's just not as consistently good.
Yeah, the difference is Derrick Henry is 31 and Saquon, I don't know his exact age, but he's not 30.
No, but he's had lots of leg injuries.
Yeah,
and
fair enough.
He had a huge year.
Last year.
So I just think for a running back, you only get about 4 or 5 of those now.
Yeah.
Those the days of the O.J. Simpsons and the Walter Paytons, those are over, and the Eric Dickersons, those are over. Those
O.J. Simpson's day is definitely over.
Yes.
Yeah, I Philadelphia, they have to win the division, and that's the only way they're getting into the playoffs.
So the next up was Seattle going to Atlanta, just decimating the Falcons. Seattle is, fun fact, they lead the NFL in point differential at plus 161.
That's crazy.
The next closest team is the LA Rams, also in the NFC West at plus 152. The next closest team is at plus 110, and that's New England.
New England. Oh, man. Okay. Well, I think that is the NFC West. The NFC West is that's the toughest division in football, right?
Well, you've got 3 teams that have 9 wins or more.
Yeah. San Francisco inexplicably with nine wins and 4
It just
losses.
goes to show you that Brock Purdy is not that much more valuable than his replacement.
No, probably not. Probably not. It's Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan is driving that
It's the
team.
Shanahan.
I will not understand any coach winning Coach of the Year besides Kyle Shanahan this year. I don't care if they could miss the playoffs, and I still would be like, Kyle Shanahan. Who's done more with less this year?
I don't think they're going to miss the playoffs.
No, probably not. So you think 2 teams from the West?
I think
3 teams from the West.
3 teams from the West.
2 wild cards from the West.
And then 2 from the North, and then the division winners.
Okay. That actually looks right. I mean, on paper, the way the records are shaken out right now, that's most plausible, because you also have Tampa Bay, who 4 weeks ago looked like they were in the driver's seat in the NFC South, and now they just lost to the Saints in a game that, I mean, it was wet. You get those outdoor rainy and 68-degree games in Tampa Bay late in the year, and anything can happen. But man, they didn't look good.
Losing to the Saints is
losing to the Saints,
unforgivable, especially when you've got to win with Carolina breathing down your neck.
Carolina coming right, we could be in a situation where Carolina is playing a home playoff game.
Hats off to the NFL schedulers this year. The schedulers, the Bucks in the year with at Panthers, at Dolphins, home to the Panthers.
Okay.
After they play the Falcons. So they have a division game, the AFC East, and a division game to end the year. So
God, that's a huge stretch.
I appreciate that. The Chicago Bears, much like the Bucks, I was trying to look up the Bears score.
Let me get to it here. The Bears lost a tough one this week. They lost to Green Bay 28-21. Now, it was at Green Bay.
Yeah, I don't think that was an unexpected loss, but they host the Browns.
Okay.
Then they host the Packers.
Yep.
Then they go to the 49ers, and they host the Lions. So,
man,
after that Browns game, they're probably not going to be favored in any of the rest of the games.
The Bears had a chance in this game to win late, and Caleb Williams threw just a terrible off his back foot pick. He had a guy wide open in the back of the end zone and just threw it off his back foot and shorted it. And Caleb Williams, look, I've been somewhat impressed with the way Caleb Williams has improved this year over his rookie year, but he's not ready yet. Mm-hmm. He's not ready. They're moving in the right direction. It was absurd for anybody to think that when they held the number 1 seed for a week that was going to hold. They're not going to be the number 1 seed. But they're moving in the right direction. Ben Johnson has them going the right way. A couple other bounces in that game, and they beat Green Bay, and now we're having a whole different conversation. But I just don't think Caleb Williams is ready yet.
No.
What else do we have this week? Houston really pounded KC. I think we talked about this last week. We were both.
You were way up on them.
We were offended. We were both, I think, a little bit offended on behalf of Houston for being underdogs to Kansas City when it's clear that Kansas City is. This is I don't know if this is the end of the Chiefs dynasty, but it's a lull. It's that middle dynasty lull. If you remember,
it depends on how long Patrick Mahomes sticks around. If he has a Brady-esque career, then yeah, it's just they need to reload around him.
Yeah.
If this is the end of his being, a dominant team leader,
yeah,
then it wouldn't surprise me. It just depends on how long Andy Reid wants to coach.
It would surprise me if this is like the start of Patrick Mahomes tailing off. He's 30 years old. I just don't see it.
Didn't Brady have a 10-year period where he did not go to the Super Bowl?
Brady had. So I looked this up the other day because I said something like that. It was only about 4 years.
Okay, 4 years.
It wasn't, but when it was between Super Bowl wins, because because he had the year, he had the there was 4 years after, I think it was 4 years after their third Super Bowl, they didn't get back to the Super Bowl. Then they went that was when they decided they needed to put some pieces around Brady. They brought in Randy Moss.
Oh, that year. Oh my gosh.
They went 16-0, 19-0 up to the Super Bowl, and then they got beat by the Giants in a game that if honestly, and I don't blame Randy Moss for this, if he just extends his hands like 6 more inches, which it looked like he could have done, we're probably having a different conversation about that. We're talking 19-0 instead of 18-1 with an asterisk.
We're talking about one of the greatest teams of all time.
Right. The next year, Brady tears his ACL in the first game of the season, and they go 11-5 with Matt Castle and miss the playoffs.
And then Matt Castle gets a contract out of that and never plays well for anybody
with
else.
the Chiefs.
Yes,
ironically enough. Never really plays much for them. Alex Smith was their quarterback for quite a while, but that there was sort of a lull for the Patriots in the middle of the sort of dynasty run. You know, when you think about it, 20 years of that dynasty, and they won 6 Super Bowls. They went to 8. So it's not even half the time. I mean, it sounds insane to say this out loud,
but it's
still pretty good.
We would trade for that.
But here's the other teams that won Super Bowls in the meantime: the Steelers, the Saints, the Broncos, the Colts, the Ravens. All these other teams.
The Broncos and the Colts with the same quarterback.
Yeah, the Seahawks. I mean, there were plenty of other teams that won Super Bowls, went to Super Bowls. The Falcons went to some Super Bowls in there. The Raiders went to one against Tampa. I mean, it's the Giants. Do you remember the Ravens and Giants?
Oh, yeah. That was a stinker of a
I believe that was the year. That was the year, I think, after the first Patriots Super Bowl. When the Patriots, by the way, didn't make the playoffs that year after Brady won his first Super Bowl. So taking it back to the Chiefs, I would be really surprised if this is like the beginning of the end for Patrick Mahomes at 30 years old.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm
I'm not ruling out major changes. Like,
no, I think that's
significant changes are coming. You're probably going to see Travis Kelce retire.
But what would you fix on the Chiefs?
You've got to get some receivers.
I agree.
You've got to get some receivers around him, and you've got to probably, Patrick Mahomes is at his best when he's got a guy like a tight end, an outlet like Kelce. Maybe it's not a tight end. Maybe it's a great pass-catching running back.
We had a commenter say that Kelce was still a top 5 tight end, and he listed all these stats.
Yeah. Bullshit.
I just don't think that he passes the eyeball test anymore.
No, he doesn't.
But, I mean, the stats are the stats. So.
He had 1 catch in the loss to Houston the other day when they scored 10 points. And, the Houston, this is just another example of how good the Houston defense is. And if they manage to make the playoffs, if they win the NFC South, if they make if they win the AFC South, if they make the playoffs as a wild card, they are going to be, to me, it's going to be hard to pick against that team in the playoffs. That defense is that good.
We'll skip over the recap on the Bills-Bengals. We'll come back to that.
Okay.
The Titans beat the Browns. I was disappointed for the Browns fans. They looked like a winner. Like we said, the Vikings just stomped the Commanders. I did not see that coming.
Yeah. If those two
J.J.
games
McCarthy looked competent.
Yeah. 31 points, thanks, I guess, in some part to J.J. McCarthy's 163 yards passing.
There you go.
I don't know. If those two games are played in the woods and no one is around to hear them, did they actually happen?
Somebody heard them.
Okay.
You got money on the Jets 3 weeks in a row, and finally the Jets showed up and showed you what they were.
I rode that horse just a little bit too hard. I knew it. I knew it when that game was starting and Miami went up 14-0. I was like, nope.
Do we give 2 shits about the Dolphins this year? Or
I don't think so.
Even if they win out, they'd be 10-7.
So this is that's the odd thing about Miami. They are 4 wins away from being 10-7 and in the playoff conversation. And 10-7 is likely to get you a playoff spot.
I think so.
I can't imagine a world where Miami actually makes the playoffs. I don't see it. Their schedule coming up.
I was about to pull that up.
They're at Pittsburgh. they're home for Cincy, they're home for Tampa Bay, and then they're at New England. Now,
3 of those are winnable. I don't think they win at New England, but 3 of those they could win at Pittsburgh. They could definitely win at home versus the Bengals, and they can definitely win at home versus a reeling Bucs team.
I don't know what the weather was like in New York. Like, there's that stat where the Dolphins have like never won a game that's below like 43 degrees or something like that. But they're going to be in Pittsburgh this week, and it's going to be cold.
Well,
I think that they lose. I think they lose 2 of those games. I think Cincinnati's offense is too good for the Dolphins to keep up with. I don't know, and Tampa's going to have their backs to the wall then too.
You mentioned that Cincinnati offense. They didn't have enough offense to beat the Bills.
Well, they had enough offense to beat most teams. We'll save it. We'll save it. But yeah, Miami and the Jets. I got to be honest. I didn't pay too much attention to it. Other than the Jets looked like they were wearing uniforms that were black at one time, and then were out in the sun for too long because they turned that like brownish.
Oh wow!
That old black shirts. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see any of that.
We got to stop it with these rivalries uniforms. NFL, you're missing the boat on a lot of them.
Go home, NFL. You're drunk.
That's right. What else did we have on the schedule this week? We had Pittsburgh at Baltimore. This was. Did we talk about this one yet?
No.
This was another derp fest. I watched this game, almost every play of this game, and it was another one of these. What's happened? What has happened to Lamar Jackson?
I don't know, but something's not quite right.
Because he didn't look right at any point in that game. He had one long touchdown run. But for the most part, Pittsburgh dominated this game, and I say dominated in the loosest sense of the term because no one really seemed dominant in this game. Aaron Rodgers can't throw a pass that travels more than 10 yards in the air.
So what does it say about the level of quarterback play in the NFL that Phillip Rivers is coming out of retirement at 44? Aaron Rodgers is a competent starter at 41. Justin Herbert is playing with a cast on his hand. Daniel Jones is playing with a broken leg. Brock Purdy is replaceable and is on a team that has a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
You haven't even mentioned guys like Bo Nix and Jordan Love and J.J. McCarthy and Sam Darnold. Like, I know, and it's odd because every week we think, okay, we're almost in a golden age of quarterbacks with the number of quality starters that we have. At the same time, you watch some of these guys play, and it's like, Brock Purdy, really? Like,
I mean, I know I would say this, the behind Formula One driver, and hitting a Nolan Ryan fastball, I think playing NFL quarterback is maybe one of the toughest jobs in sports.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think it takes a very special kind of person to do that. And they have to have a very particular set of skills plus athleticism.
Yeah.
Like you can't just have, 4 of the 5 skills and not be athletic. That won't work.
Well, if we're going to talk about Patrick Mahomes in the context of is he done, do we have to, or is he on the decline? Do we have to have that conversation about Lamar now?
I don't think he's on the decline. I don't know what's wrong with Lamar. I think he's got an injury issue.
I think he's hurt. Well, he's had leg injuries all year, so who knows?
I think that's what, and Lamar gets in his own head. I think when Lamar is right, he is probably the most complete quarterback that ever stepped foot on an NFL field. He is one of the greatest passers of the ball of all time, and also one of the greatest runners of the ball from the quarterback position of all time.
He's high on the list. Well, he's probably the best runner of the football from a quarterback. When you combine that with
70% passing,
70%, yeah, it's
not
pretty,
like Lamar is inaccurate. He's not Michael Vick out there. He's not Tua.
No. There was a quarterback we were talking about a few weeks ago. It was Marcus Mariota, who is like, what is it about Marcus Mariota that has made him just basically middling?
He's a
his
gaff
career.
machine.
He's a it's up here. It's in his head,
Yeah.
right?
Well, the game gets too fast for him, and then when he can't figure it out with his feet, and he makes a throwing mistake or he gets off balance, then he does something inexplicably stupid.
So is it possible that if you take away Lamar's elite athleticism and you make him, 80% of what he is, that he doesn't quite have the football intelligence of a Patrick Mahomes or a Matt Stafford
I don't know.
or a Josh Allen?
That doesn't explain his ability to throw the ball just about as well as anybody else.
Well, it doesn't, but when you have leg injuries, it can affect the way that you can throw the ball too.
I don't know. What I can tell you is this. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, that was two shitty teams. And if Cincinnati hadn't fumbled the game away with 2 picks by Joe Burrow at the end, they would probably be in, I won't say the driver's seat, but they'd certainly be reaching for the wheel.
Is it time to have the Bills Bengals conversation?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Bengals were up 21-11. And all of a sudden, we get down to crunch time, and we don't talk about this quite enough, but Joe Burrow in crunch time is not the best I've ever seen. He just isn't. He had a chance in the Super Bowl.
This is interesting. This is a new take I haven't heard from
He had a chance in the Super Bowl to make a comeback, and they did nothing, basically.
Okay.
He threw 2 picks in basically 3 minutes to lose this game. If you look at the amount of Joe Burrow comebacks, there's just not a ton of them. And think about the year they lost all those 1-score games.
Okay.
So.
Okay, but all right. I know why you're saying this.
I don't think Joe Burrow is all that clutch.
I know why you're saying this, but there was not a single, all those 1-score games that they lost last year, it never once was because Joe Burrow didn't get it done at the end. It was because Joe Burrow got it done at the time that he needed to, and then the defense couldn't stop anybody.
That's not true. That's not true.
It's not?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well,
Joe Burrow failed in several comeback attempts.
Okay.
And he failed this week with 2 picks in the biggest moments of the game. Now, I'm not saying Joe Burrow isn't a great quarterback, because he is. He's one of the best 2 or 3, 5 quarterbacks in the league, depending on how many games he plays. But he threw the game away this week.
Okay.
He threw it away.
I mean,
he has the best receiving core that may have been assembled ever.
It's hard to argue against that point. And I would agree with you, except for the fact that you had the defense. The Bengals defense wasn't able to keep what was a pretty stumbling Bills offense off the field.
All Cincinnati had to do in the second half was match Buffalo score for score.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard to do that when your quarterback throws two picks that, by the way, were really uncharacteristic. Now, one was that weird, I don't know what he was doing. It looked like he was trying to shot put the ball over the top of,
I don't know, but
Christian Benford just elevated to a level that I'm not sure that Christian Benford has ever jumped that high in his life.
But this is Burrow. He has not been. Cincinnati had a chance to win the Super Bowl. It was 22. I think it was the 21 season 22 Super Bowl. They had a chance to come back and win that Super Bowl. There was enough time on the clock, and they had timeouts, and they didn't. They didn't do anything in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So I just don't think
against a pretty elite Rams defense.
I know, but I'm just saying, like when Mahomes gets the ball at the end of the game, when Josh Allen gets the ball at the end of the game, when a prime Lamar, when he's right, when he gets the ball at the end of the game, what do you expect?
Well,
I don't expect it from Burrow.
I don't know. See, I think that's a football fan from the outside looking in on the Bengals. Like, I expect Joe Burrow to win those. I expect Joe Burrow with a competent defense to win those kinds of games. I don't think Burrow has had a competent defense in his entire career so far.
But that has nothing to do with his clutch ability at the end of the game.
Okay. Well,
is he put in those positions way too often? Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, the Bengals. Look, I'm not giving up on the Bengals in that division yet.
They can go 8. They can go 8-9 and win the division.
They absolutely can,
and they can definitely go 8-9.
Yes, and if they do, This is also a Joe Burrow who went into Buffalo in the playoffs and won, went into Kansas City in the playoffs and won.
Yes.
Willed his team to a Super Bowl. So maybe it's not that he's not clutch at the end of games.
I'm a Bengals fan,
But,
and I'm
man,
saying
he
this.
will-
We get the orange and the blue lights this week.
He will put that team on his back when he has to. And look, he missed 2 months. Like, this was his second game back.
Yeah.
It's not as though he's been fucking up all season, and that's why they are where they are. I'm not giving up on them just yet. I want to talk about the Bills for just a second, because this is yet another game where they started slow. They didn't seem like they had their shit together the entire game.
Not when you're trailing Cincinnati 21-11 and a half.
And they came back. They got within 3 in the middle of the second quarter. They went down 21-11 early in the second half. Or I'm sorry, they went down 21-11 going into halftime. Then they came out third quarter. They get the ball. They drive right down and score.
Yep.
Cincinnati answers at that point. So now the Bengals are still up 10 with about 7 minutes to go in the game. 7.5 minutes to go in the game. From there, Josh Allen breaks off a 40-yard touchdown run.
Gosh.
On a run that, like, in most situations, you look at how that play starts and you think, oh, he's got 10 or 15. He's got the 10 or 15 yards that he needs to get this first down. No, he just gallops his way into the end zone. Cincinnati completely forgot about him.
Twice.
Completely forgot that he was there. Yeah.
Like, do you not understand that Josh Allen is one of the best running quarterbacks in the league?
Yeah. But from there it was all defense and Burrow kind of throwing that game away, because all of a sudden Cincinnati is down 39-28, and it didn't feel like it was quite over then, but with 3 minutes to go and you're down 11,
Well, you can't throw picks.
No.
You just can't throw picks at the end of the game.
No. But I want to. I don't understand why the Bills' offense keeps starting off. They keep sputtering out of the gate. Why is this happening? I mean,
there was a snowfall during the game of like 3 inches.
Well, that's okay. That's fair. But they're supposed to be able. They're the Bills. They're supposed to be able to overcome that because they play in that weather. So I don't know. I'm worried about this team. They're probably going to make the playoffs, but I heard an argument the other day. Let me run this by you. Somebody said that this is the best setup that the Bills have had in terms of potential playoff matchups in the entire time that Josh Allen's been there. The problem is that Josh Allen doesn't have a great team around him. But you think about it, you could probably the Chiefs are done. The Chiefs are not making the playoffs. No. The Ravens don't probably they're going to have trouble making the playoffs. They don't control their own playoff scenario at this point. Probably not going to make it. Bengals are probably going to be out. I mean, you're looking at an AFC where they're going to have to face the Patriots, the Jaguars, Houston, like all these other teams that we technically think
there are no good teams. Like there are no great teams.
Yeah.
In either conference except maybe the Rams and Seattle.
Is this the best setup that the Bills have had to make the Super Bowl?
In a year where there's a lot of parity, the Bills are almost always going to have the best player on the field.
Okay.
They will have the best player on either team.
Yeah.
So that sets up well.
Denver. We keep forgetting to mention Denver.
I'm not really sold on Denver.
You're pissed off at Denver because they backdoored both of us.
Well, no, I'm not mad at Denver. I just, they keep winning games. I'm not sure that they've played anybody great. They're 11-2. I mean, what else do you want to say?
Your record, you are what your record says you are, right? Isn't that what they always say?
I think there's a good argument to be made that all the teams with the best records this year have played some of the worst schedules.
Yeah, it's you can't argue that. I mean, the Patriots are definitely a beneficiary of
a terrible
schedule. Denver, the same. They're lucky enough to catch the Chiefs in a down year. They play in the same division as Las Vegas. I mean, it's an argument, but I would say in any given season, a team that gets to 11, 12, 13 wins is probably going to play a handful of shitty teams along the way.
Sure.
So I don't
They
know.
all have.
We'll see. Denver, I don't know what to make of Bo Nix. I would love to bet against Bo Nix in the playoffs.
Let's. We've talked about Bears Packers. The Rams beat the shitty Cardinals 45-17. Matt Stafford continues to look very good.
Is Stafford the MVP?
Probably.
Okay.
He's having a very good year on the best team.
He would get my vote right now. Today.
The Texans, as we talked about, beat the Chiefs on Sunday night 20-10. Teams that are spying Patrick Mahomes and keeping him from breaking off the Josh Allen runs are really giving the Chiefs fits. Mahomes is going to have a very good season, but he almost has no one open on any play.
No.
He throws guys open. He throws into tiny little windows, but there's no margin for error.
He doesn't look comfortable at all. And we've already done quite a bit on Mahomes and the Chiefs, but I think there needs to be kind of a reset there. I think there need to be some changes there.
And we talked about the Chargers and their overtime win over the Eagles last night.
Yeah.
That game was a fumble fest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that game did either team any favors. So I had some faith in the Chargers at one point in time, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're good or not.
I still think the Chargers missed the playoffs. I think they missed the playoffs.
They're not. They're
crowded.
9-4.
It's too crowded. Something's got to give there.
All right. So when we come back, we will have our bets, and we will preview next week's games as we're recording on Tuesday the 9th.
We're finally through all the bye weeks. Thank God.
And then in the last segment, we're going to talk about the broadcast from last night, the alternate broadcast, the Monsters, Inc. broadcast, which was
a fever dream.
Well, it was,
It was weird.
it was aimed at children who were in bed, people on shrooms, or executives who wanted a movie tie-in.
Yeah.
Take your pick.
Does it count if I was in bed on shrooms?
Yes.
Okay. I was not, but, it would have been more interesting that way.
Gosh. We'll be right back.
Be right back. All right, we are into week 15. Let's go through these. We rambled a little bit in the last segment. Maybe we'll end up doing some creative editing to shorten that down.
I don't know.
Let's try to go through these picks as quickly as we can. Through these games, week 15 games, as quickly as we can. Starting with Atlanta Thursday night at the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are 4.5-point favorites. They are minus 235. Falcons are only plus 194. The over/under is 44.5.
I want no part of this. I think the Bucs are the better team. I cannot see myself getting money on them right now. They are really struggling. I don't see a way to bet this unless it's in a alternate line where the Bucs are maybe just money line favorites.
Well, I can't take the over in any game that Kirk Cousins is involved in. I can't take. I don't really. I mean, maybe money line, maybe the minus 235 money line for the Bucs, but that's not very good value for them. And you just really don't know. This is going to be short rest for the Bucs after they had kind of a tough game against the Saints. Baker still looks a little bit dinged up. I don't like it either. I think that's kind of a stay away from me too.
The next game is Jets getting 12.5 at the Jaguars. The Jaguars being a 12.5-point favorite over anybody is kind of funny to me because this is a team that we picked to finish like 4-13. So now they are maybe the favorite to win their division.
At the end of the year, we're going to sit down and recap. We did those season previews, the AFC and NFC previews. We're going to have to go back and look at what we said about the Jags.
How badly could it go for that prediction? But it's too many points. 12.5 is way too many points.
Lanny,
no way are you getting money on the Jets.
I'm going
again.
back to the well this week.
You
12
can't
and a
do
half
it.
points. I'm taking it, man.
All right.
I'm just telling you that is too many points to spot the Jets against the Jaguars.
What do you think the over-under of 41.5? What do you think of that?
I don't love it because I honestly could see the Jets winning this game like 20-17.
You think the Jets can win the game?
I think they can win this game. I think they can win this. I do not trust the Jaguars. What have they shown us this year that makes you trust them?
Nothing.
None of their wins has felt good.
I mean, they have ETN, and he's pretty good. But,
Yeah.
but they also have,
You're still talking about Trevor Lawrence.
mediocre quarterback play.
Yeah.
All
I like
right.
the points in that.
Okay. I can't bet on that one. The game I will not bet on, no matter what. It's the 1-800-GAMBLER game of the week.
Agreed.
Washington Commanders at the New York Giants in New Jersey.
Giants are -2.5 favorites at home. They're -136. Commanders are +116. Over-under is 46.5, which seems high.
Is that because Jaden Daniels is playing?
I think it probably is, but Jaden Daniels was also playing against the Vikings, and they scored 0 points.
They got shut out.
And also apparently Jaden Daniels re-aggravated his left elbow that was pointing the wrong direction a few weeks ago.
Yeah, just a few weeks ago. It doesn't seem like that long ago.
So if there's no betting on this game, just stay away from this one.
It's a stay away.
Don't bet on it at all.
All right, your Buffalo Bills go to Foxborough to take on the New England Patriots, and they are favored in this game.
This is absurd. This is absurd. +1. The Patriots are giving the Bills. The Patriots are getting a point and a half
at home.
That's got to change by Sunday.
What do you think it should be? What's the right line then?
I think the right line is Patriots -2.5.
Okay.
I think it probably moves to -1.5 for the Patriots, maybe -2, depending on how the money goes. But come on, the Patriots already beat the Bills in Buffalo this year.
The Bengals beat the Patriots too. So
well, that's fine, but I don't know, man. The Patriots are a much different team than they were long ago when they lost to the Bengals. The over/under on that is 49.5.
give me the Bills minus the 1.5 at -105, and give me that over.
That's an aggressive play, my friend. I don't mind it, but I think that line is inflated. I cannot figure out why the Bills are favored on the road in this one. Can't figure it out.
I think the Bills win outright.
Okay. Browns are at the Bears. Bears are 7.5 point favorites. They are -430. Browns are +340. Over/under is 39.5.
God, the Browns have looked awful.
They
just lost a terrible game. The Bears have to win every game. I think the Bears try to put it on them, honestly. And the Browns quarterback situation's bad. The Bears are pretty decent at taking the ball away.
Now, Shador threw for over 300 yards.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I know. Did he look good doing it?
No.
Not really. I like the Bears. I don't like the 7.5. That's the only thing.
I don't ever like to go more than a touchdown.
I might bump that down to -6.5.
Yeah, make it maybe even get it down to 5.5.
Yeah.
That way they can win by 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Chargers are at the Chiefs. The Chiefs, I mean, you can call it a must-win for the Chiefs, but I don't see any way that they're anything but done. The Chargers need this game.
Give me the Chargers 4.5. Give me the points.
It's an inflated Chiefs line is what's happening here. It just disappeared from my screen. Oh, there it is. Okay.
It did for me too.
Okay.
Was weird.
It's the Chiefs are favored by 4.5 at home.
No, give me the Chargers.
Give me the Chargers.
Give me the 4.5.
I'd almost take them at +180. The Chargers are +180. Chiefs are minus 215. Over-under is 42.5. I'm taking the Chargers, and I might take the Chargers in the under 42.5 on this. The Chiefs just got done scoring 10 points.
I'm definitely taking the Chargers.
Okay.
Let's keep in mind that the weather on the eastern half of the United States this weekend is not going to be great.
No, that's true.
But we just saw the Bengals and Bills put up 80 points
in the snow.
in the snow.
Yep, on a frozen field in Buffalo. They were saying this might be the last time they play a home game in the snow on Sunday. I was like, you don't realize that we have two more home games?
They're not going to build a dome in Buffalo.
They're not building a dome in Buffalo specifically for that reason, so they can still have snow on the field. It's absurd. I don't understand what all that talk was about. Anyway.
The Raiders are getting 11.5 as they travel across the country to the Eagles. Oh man!
Give me the points. I say give me the points on this.
You want the Raiders and the points?
Not because I think the Raiders are capable of scoring a lot of points, but because I don't think the Eagles are. I think the Eagles. This is going to be like a 17-10, 17-9, like something low. Like the Eagles just don't. There's nothing about the Eagles' offense that impresses me. At 21-10. You're still covering.
I think the Raiders have the worst offensive line I've seen in some time.
100%. Yeah.
And so I don't see them scoring more than 10.
Okay.
So if it's 24-10, if it's, I think it could be pretty low scoring. The problem though is when you have so many 3 and outs and you have so many sacks given up. Gino's been sacked like 8 or 9 times in one game. Or
oh my God! In one half, he's been sacked 6 times and a half.
Pressured like almost every drop back.
Every drop. Yeah. I still say give me the points because it's not saying anything about anything other than the Eagles just don't seem capable of scoring points in bunches. The over-under on that is 38.5. What do you think of that? I mean, if it's 21-10, would that surprise you?
21-14 seems plausible.
Okay.
21-13, 24, 24-7.
You get to 24-14, and that's still under.
I think the under is my play there.
I like the under on that one too. We skipped one. Well, not skipped one, but we missed one because of that weird glitchy thing that just happened.
We both had Ravens-Bengals.
Ravens at Bengals. It's on the line every week now, Lanny.
The Bengals getting 2.5 at home against a Ravens team that I don't know what's wrong with them, but there's definitely something wrong with them. I'm taking the Bengals straight up for the win. And the over 51.5.
Bengals are plus 120 at home. Ravens are minus 142. It's going to be cold this weekend. Like around this area, it's going to be cold. It's going to be like in the 20s.
0 wind chill.
Yeah, it's going to be in the 20s. We know what happens to Lamar in cold weather. This is a thing that's actually been kind of bugged him throughout his career.
So you think it's the under?
I think it's the under, and I think it's Bengals. I mean, I'll take the 2.5 points, but I don't mind the plus 120.
I don't need the 2.5 points. It's the Bengals. I think they win this, and they probably win it handily. Given the weather factor, maybe it's not 51.5, but I'll just stay away from that. But
okay.
Give me the Bengals.
Okay. We've got Arizona at Houston. Texans are favored at home by 9.5. They're minus 560. Cardinals are plus 420. Over under is 42.5. Now,
can we tease the Texans down to 6.5?
Well, my instinct was to lay the points, but Arizona is one of those teams that can surprise you offensively. They can all of a sudden you look up and they've scored 26 points on a team that they've got no business scoring against. So I don't know.
I don't think they do that against the Texans.
No, I don't. Well, probably not. Probably not. But I'm not comfortable enough to lay 9.5.
No, I'm comfortable at 6.5.
I can take it down to 6.5, and I probably would take. Are you going to go? If you had to pick, and I'm not saying we should do this, over under 42.5 for those two teams. Under. Okay.
Man, I don't know.
But it's tough because Houston's offense is still a little sputtery.
21-20, 21-17, 24-17.
Yeah. I don't know. It's all about how capable the Texans are, the Texans defense is of holding the Cardinals offense.
I think the
check.
Texans could, hold them to 10 or under.
I mean, they could shut them out. Who knows?
It's possible.
Yeah, because the Cardinals don't really have anything to play for at this point either.
No.
Okay.
Lions getting 5.5 on the road at SoFi at the Rams. The over-under is 54.5. That's not going to be enough.
No.
I think it's the Rams and the over.
Over all day on that. Yeah. Man, there's so many good games in this 4:00 slot. We've got a lot of games at 4:00 this week.
That feels like 31-24.
Yeah, it's something. It's up there. Both teams are getting into the mid to high 20s easily.
I think the Rams are going to just take over this one, though. I think they win by a touchdown. So give me the
lay
Rams.
the 5.5.
Yeah.
Would you move that line? Would you move that line up to 6.5 to get a little bit of extra juice?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Packers at Broncos. God, this is another one.
It's a great game.
Man, this is a good game. Broncos are 2.5 point underdogs at home.
These are divisions that if you don't win every game, you're in trouble of losing your division lead.
It's true. Yep. 100% true. And now the Broncos, well, yeah, in that division, if the Broncos stumble,
They're
the Chargers are right there.
Yeah, they're right
waiting
there.
waiting for them to slip up. So I don't know. The Packers the same thing though. The Packers are still in kind of a fight with the Bears. They've got that tie on their record.
Yeah. I think this is a huge game for both teams.
Okay.
I don't know which way to go. Like I don't feel if I'm doing anything, I'm going to take the home team. And if I get 2.5 at home, give me the 2.5.
I think the Broncos defense is the second best in the league, and good defenses have given Green Bay trouble this year.
Yeah, I'm going. Give me the 2.5.
I'll take the 2.5. I might bump that up to 3.5 just to be safe, just to see. And the over/under. I mean, I have no idea what the weather's going to be like in Denver. I imagine it's going to be cold, but that doesn't really make a difference for the Packers. But the over/under of 42.5. I think I'm probably going to go over on that because it feels like both teams can get into the 20s on that one.
All right, Colts getting 13.5 on the road at the Seahawks. The Seahawks are, like I said earlier, they have the best point differential in the league.
Yeah, by a wide margin, by the way.
Yeah, like over the third or fourth place.
Over the third or fourth place, yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
13.5 is so many points for a professional football game, even though the Colts are reeling.
This is the question that here's a question for you. Let's say Phillip Rivers joins the practice squad this week, and they are looking at whatever his name is, the 6th round pick from Notre Dame, who's going to probably be forced to start for the Colts.
Right.
But what happens if they go, this kid just can't get it done? Phil, it's time, man.
Well,
this is like Roy Hobbs in The Natural coming in to pinch hit.
He would have to be on the 48-man roster.
Okay.
So he's not on the active roster yet.
Not yet.
He's on the practice squad.
Right.
So he'd have to be elevated. I just can't see him not playing in the league for 4 seasons and then coming in and starting an NFL football game, no matter how well he knows the coach, the offense, etc.
Especially at Seattle with that defense.
So I think
it's a tough place to put it.
I think Phillip Rivers does play this season, and I think he plays not this coming week, but the next week.
It's the 49ers. They have the 49ers on Monday night.
Yeah. I think that's when you see the Phillip Rivers debut in 2025.
Is it too late for the Colts, though, at that point? Because if the Colts lose this game to Seattle...
I think the Colts are kind of done, no matter what. No matter what. I just without Daniel Jones, they're just kind of done.
Can they? So you don't think you don't think that there's you think the chances that they're done are better than they back into the division win? I'm saying back in like they lose, they go 2-2 down the stretch, but so does everybody else.
It just depends.
You know, like
on
Houston's one loss away from really not being in it anymore. Jacksonville is 2 losses away from just gacking that away. Let's not pretend like Jacksonville isn't capable of that.
Oh, they definitely are.
I mean, they could go to the Jets and lose this week. You never know with them.
Put it like this: the Colts are a 13.5-point dog for a reason.
Okay, no, that's true. That's true.
2 weeks ago, they would have been a 3.5-point dog,
That's true.
or maybe 4.5.
Given how the Seahawks played this week, do you lay the points, or are you even touching this?
Stay
game?
away.
Okay.
Stay away.
Same. The Titans are at the 49ers. The Titans
They're so
stink.
bad.
I'm kind of surprised that the Colts are getting 13.5 on the road, and the Titans are only getting 12.5 on the road. How does that work?
I don't know. But it's hard for me to lay 12.5 in a professional football game, but I cannot see myself putting money on the Titans.
There's no good value in this game. It'll be interesting to watch the 49ers to see how they stack up. Sometimes you can learn something from these teams that are like kind of on the fringe. You can learn something about how they handle these games late in the year against basically a doormat, right?
Yeah.
If they go in, if they just lay it on, it's 35-6 against the Titans, it's going to tell you a lot more than like if but that tells you just as much as like if they need like a late score to put the game away or something like that, I don't like any of the value in this game.
No, I don't want to try to get a bet on that.
No.
Unless I'm throwing them in a parlay that's a 5-way and then I make it a 6-way.
You've been known to do that.
Proclivity.
Yeah. Yes.
The Panthers are road favorites, only 2.5 points at the Saints. The Saints showed up this week a little bit. So I don't know. My money's on the Panthers on this one.
Yeah.
I just give me the money line Panthers.
So the money line Panthers, that's -158. At -2.5, it's only -122. It's not that much
marginally
different.
better.
So you're saying basically, I believe anything from 1 point, like they win this game by 1.
Yeah, I mean it could be a close game.
Field goal. They stumble. They just fall ass backwards into a win here.
Yeah,
I
think they win.
I have a hard time. Believing that the Panthers should be favored on the road against anybody. I understand that their record, they're basically tied for the NFC South. I've watched them. Now, this is another coach who is, in many years, I think would be considered a candidate for Coach of the Year, because how he got this team to 7-6 is completely beyond me.
I mean, the Saints are wearing bags in the Superdome again, so
Well, that's true. That's true.
They're not good.
Okay, so your call is Panthers money line in that one. I don't mind that.
Vikings are getting 6.5 points at your Dallas Cowboys.
It's the Sunday night game, FYI. At Dallas.
This is a good line. This is a good line because I'm not sure what to do with it. I'm guessing I'm going money line Cowboys, even though the Vikings just had a huge win, and the Cowboys had a really bad loss.
It was a pretty defeating loss, like morally defeating loss.
Yeah. They
Lions.
needed to win that, and they could have won it.
I'm laying the 6.5 on this one because I like the 6.5 number. I think the Cowboys can win by a touchdown. I'm not willing to bank on them winning by more than a touchdown. So I like the 6.5 there.
Can this game get to 28-21?
Yeah, I think so. Well, so maybe
you might go. I think it's the under.
You think it's under at 47.5? See,
yeah, I don't trust the Vikings offense.
The Vikings offense is bad. That's the thing. Like,
but so is the Cowboys defense is bad.
The Cowboys defense is bad, but I don't think it's bad enough to make JJ McCarthy
I don't know. The Vikings just shut out a team. I don't know.
I get it, but it was Washington, man. This is a whole different scenario. This is at the Cowboys on Sunday night. It's going to be a whole different atmosphere. Cowboys are fighting for their lives right now. Washington has been dead for weeks. So
Okay.
You know.
So it's Cowboys. We lay the points.
I think so. Yeah.
All right. The Monday nighter is the Miami Dolphins, the resurgent Miami Dolphins at the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is the Steelers. Every game's a must-win in the AFC North. Miami has an outside shot of making the playoffs in the AFC East.
Incredibly.
Somehow, some way.
It does. It's. I can't believe that we're sitting here talking about the Miami Dolphins have the potential to make the playoffs. It's crazy. This is one of those. This is what we were talking about. Weird years, you and I.
Let's just make sure what we're saying is correct.
Okay, because we talked about weird years. You remember we had this conversation. It was either yesterday or today offline. We were talking about how is this season? What is going on when we've got these teams that are leading the conferences are, teams that have not been there recently.
The Dolphins are not eliminated from the playoffs. They are 6 and 7.
6 and 7.
They are at Pittsburgh, home Cincinnati, home Tampa, at New England.
I mean, can you see them going 9 and 8?
That feels like 2 and 2.
That would put them at 8 and 9.
I don't think they get in at 8 and 9.
No. Wild card is an 8 and 9 is not going to get you. The only way 8 and 9 gets you in is if it's winning the AFC North.
So they'd have to be 10 and 7. So they would have to win out. The Dolphins would have to win.
Yeah, they would have to
for
win
any
out.
hope.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, maybe 9 and 7, or 9 and 8.
9 and 8.
But I don't even think 9 and 8 is going to get you there.
Gets you in the playoffs.
No.
So they have to win out. So this is a loser leaves town match for Miami. For Pittsburgh, who friggin' knows? They're 7 and 6.
If they go to 7 and 7, it's not loser leaves town for them.
No, but because they lead the division currently. But I mean,
but it's not one that they can really afford to lose because they
can't afford to lose.
Who does? Let's take a look real quick because I want to see what the schedule looks like for Pittsburgh going forward. Pittsburgh, they've got 4 games left. We've got Miami this week. Then they're at Detroit. Then they're at Cleveland.
That's a win.
Then they're home for Baltimore. So they just beat Baltimore on the road, right? You figure they lose at Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland's defense
terrible.
You think?
No. I mean, Cleveland is terrible.
Cleveland is terrible.
Their defense is good.
Their defense is good. Is their defense good enough to make Old Man Rodgers look like an idiot for 3 hours?
No.
Okay. All right. So you figure 3 and 1 for Steel. Well, if they win this game against the Dolphins, then we're talking about 3 and 1.
Yeah.
Okay. That probably wins them the division.
I think so.
Okay. I still think I think you're going to see weird shit in the AFC North. Something is going to get weird down the stretch, and you're going to have an 8 and 9 division winner. I just see it happening. As far as this game goes, Dolphins plus 3.5 on the road at the Steelers. I have a hard time laying those points, given how the Steelers looked in that one of those derp fest games against the Ravens. I would take the Steelers' money line in this, I think, because we also have a weather factor for Monday, and the Dolphins, regardless of whether they broke the 45 degrees curse at the Jets this week, they still don't have a good track record of winning in cold weather. So I like the Steelers at minus 180 there.
Okay.
That's all the games. Do we want to take a quick break, and then we'll come back with our picks, and we'll give you a recap of the buffet of sadness that was our Week 14 picks.
Yes, let's
Update
do
the
that.
contest where we are no longer masters of our domains.
We come back.
That is the sound of abject despair. Recapping Week 14 picks. I almost don't even really want to do it. We had a couple of pretty decent weeks. Thought we had some things rolling, and then really the most frustrating part was we got backdoored by the Raiders in the Raiders Broncos game in all senses of the word. They were the Denver was leading comfortably, and the Raiders decided that out of just a matter of I don't even know what you would call it, pride, they decided to kick a late field goal to pull within 7 when the spread was 7.5. That cost me my Denver minus 7.5, New Orleans plus 8.5, Cincinnati Buffalo over 52.5, which would have paid me plus 587. But alas, I did not hit it.
Denver had a chance to kick a field goal at some point in that game and didn't. Because I had Denver minus 7.5 and over 40.5.
I thought for sure that you had that. You had plus 234 on that one too.
And so when that happened, when Denver didn't kick, and the Raiders come down and do the meaningless field goal, I was screwed either way.
Sure.
The moment Denver did not kick, it was over.
Yeah, but you could have at least been plus for the week if you'd hit that one, because you had 20 pesos on that at plus 234, and you did hit Cincinnati plus 5.5 and the over 52.5 at plus 226. That paid you 65.2 pesos.
Yeah, the Tampa Bay money line that was in a big parlay in Cleveland.
Oh man,
minus 215 in a big parlay against Tennessee at home. Whoa.
Man, those are tough ones.
I got money on the Jets. I knew better than to get money on the Jets. The Seahawks hit, and the Tampa. I had Tampa Bay in two things, so that was my bad. Tampa.
Dallas screwed both of us. You had Dallas and the over. They lost. I had that. I went to the well with the Jets. I didn't get as burned by the Jets this week because I'd already been thoroughly, shall we say, backdoored by the Cowboys on Thursday night. So that didn't my Dallas and Jets money line at plus 419 was already done by Thursday night. So I didn't mind it. That didn't bother me. The only thing I did hit was I had an individual pick on the Chargers at plus 130, which did okay. But Chicago screwed me, Tampa Bay screwed me, and the Denver spread killed me.
So to sum up the contest currently, you lost an entire week's worth of winnings, and I did not get even, and I continue to fall further down in the black hole of despair.
Yeah, it's a buffet of sadness. I went from being up 701.2 pesos to being up 624.2 pesos. You went from, I almost don't even want to say it.
Say it, just say
it's
it.
Minus. You were at minus 387.7, and now you're down to minus 422.5. So
fall down the well. The contest is over.
That's
basically.
okay. Hey, look, the contest is never over because you can have a week like I had where you just bang out 700 pesos of positives, and you can be right back in this thing.
Well, here it comes.
Okay, let's hear your first pick.
Let's start off with a banger. We got a 3-leg parlay.
Okay.
These are all alternate spreads.
All right.
I've got the Tampa Bay Bucks at plus 1.5. I go across the zero. I know you're not supposed to do that. I do not care. That's minus 265. Parlayed with the Chicago Bears minus 4.5, hosting the Cleveland Browns. That's minus 210. And the Houston Texans hosting the Arizona Cardinals. I've got the Texans minus 3.5 at minus 280 for a total of plus 175, and I have 25 pesos on that. I've got 4 bets and 25 pesos on each.
Sounds good. I have. I'm gonna I'm going back to the well, Lanny.
Oh my gosh! Here come the Jets.
It's 2 out of the 3 weeks.
3 out
they
of
did
4.
3 out of 4. They
Are you
well,
looking-
2 out of the 3 weeks they did me right. I'm going with that. I'm going with that warm streak. I'm taking the Jets. I'm taking the Jets plus 12.5.
Here we go.
Okay. Just because I think the Jets at home, at Jacksonville, I just have a feeling that the Jaguars are they're gonna Milton Berle this game. They're gonna take out enough and they're gonna win it and they're gonna stay in the hunt, but they're gonna win by 6. They're gonna win by 4. They're just going to do enough. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm taking the Jets plus 12.5, and I'm moving the Chicago line. The Bears, they are favored by 7.5 over the Browns. I'm taking it down to 6.5. That's going to get me plus 214. I'm putting 30 pesos on that one.
All right. I have a massive parlay that we've already written down.
Okay.
This is the all locks parlay.
Because we all know that in the NFL late in the season, you can pick out multiple locks in 1 week.
All right, so we've got 7.
Let's do it.
We've got the Jags minus 900 hosting the Jets. We got the Bears minus 430 hosting the Browns. We've got the Eagles minus 770 hosting the Raiders. We've got the Houston Texans minus 560 hosting the Cardinals. We've got the Los Angeles Rams hosting the Detroit Lions. That's minus 250. We've got the Seattle Seahawks, the best team in the league, my Super Bowl winner, minus 1150 hosting the injured Colts. And we've got the San Francisco 49ers hosting the Tennessee Titans at minus 950. That gets me to a grand total of plus 206, and that is 25 pesos.
That is remarkable. That is remarkable.
7-legger.
7-legger, all at least minus 250. Do the Rams screw that up? They're the shortest favorite.
Now, I think
they're playing the Lions. They got the Lions coming in. The Lions are in desperation mode.
I think the team that needs it that could screw it up the most is the Bears.
Okay. Yeah, I think or Jacksonville.
Possibly.
Or San Francisco. No, San Francisco's not going to screw it up against the Titans.
I don't think so.
The Titans are cooked.
I don't think so.
Okay. Plus 206. You're putting 25. You said you're putting 25 on all of these, right?
Yep.
25 pesos. Okay. I have an over parlay here. I'm doing all overs for this one.
All right.
New England Buffalo over 49.5.
Okay.
Detroit and the Rams over 54.5. And Minnesota Dallas over 47.5. That's going to get me plus 554.
I like it. Tell me something.
Yeah.
Are the dome teams as soft as I think they are?
10 years ago, I would have said yes.
But not anymore?
I don't think it's true anymore. We've got a lot more dome teams in the league now. I don't think it matters as much.
Is the fan experience in a dome better or worse than a fan experience in an open air stadium where you feel the weather?
So I've never been to a professional football game in a dome. I've been to indoor football, like arena football. I think I went to one Syracuse football game in the Carrier Dome back in the day. I've never seen a football game in a dome. Now,
I have been to not Ford Field, the one in Indy. The RCA Dome? No. What is it called? I don't know.
It used to be the RCA Dome, I think.
Yeah, whatever it's
Lucas
called.
Oil.
Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yeah.
Very cool venue. I saw Billy Joel and Sting there.
Okay.
They're
decidedly not NFL football teams.
Would I like to see an NFL game there? Yes.
Okay.
Would I prefer it to be outside? I think yes.
I've never had an outdoor football experience where I was like, that sucked. I wish it was inside. That includes a game where tell Siri to shut the fuck up here. That includes a game where Aaron and I went with my dad and my brother and a couple people to a Bengals and Bills game This is many years ago. This is the year after the Bengals traded Takeo Spikes to the Bills.
Oh wow, okay.
It was 19 degrees at kickoff when the Bills came to town that day.
And you were fine with that.
It was so cold that by the fourth quarter, you had to drink the beer out of the neck of the bottle before it froze.
Okay.
So I just still didn't mind it. I thought it was great. So to go back to your point, are dome teams softer? I don't think so anymore. I think just the level of professionalism in pro football, I think, overcomes that at this point.
All right, that was a rabbit hole.
It was a long, we went down a hole there. So you've gotten your 2 picks in. Give me your third one.
All right, I've got a 3-leg parlay.
Okay.
Or did I already did that one, right? Yeah, I did that one.
You did the 3 alt lines: Tampa Bay, Chicago, and
All right,
Houston.
I've got a 2-leg parlay. It's the LA Chargers getting 4.5. That's -108. And the Dallas Cowboys -6.5 hosting the Vikings. That's -105. And that gets me to a tidy +276.
I like that. That's a nice little. It's a nice little 2-1, almost 3-1.
Yep.
On a couple of teams that
I feel pretty good about that.
I feel pretty good about those two. Dallas. Man, they really should. They really should take care of business against the Vikings.
I agree.
If they don't, it's really we're having a whole different conversation about them going forward. My next pick is just a straight money line parlay. I'm taking a few little risks here, very small risks, but I'm taking the Broncos at home at +116 over the Packers. I'm taking Carolina on the road over the Saints at -158. And I am taking Pittsburgh -180. They are, I'm looking this up here because I want to make sure I get this right. Pittsburgh over the Dolphins at home -180. I'm banking there on the Dolphins being shitty in cold weather. It's +448 is what that gets me to. I'm putting 20 pesos on that.
I liked that until you had the Pittsburgh in there. I have a hard time getting money on Pittsburgh, but hey, you're betting on the Jets too.
Do you have so you don't have any you don't think that the Dolphins go into cold weather? Like, you think they can keep doing that?
I don't think that Pittsburgh is very good.
Okay.
Who's the best player in that game?
Probably Devin Achane.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Who else? It's not Aaron Rodgers. Let's not say Aaron Rodgers.
No. I mean, Pittsburgh has a good running game too. They have a couple of good running backs, but I think that Miami can shorten that game, run the ball, play action, and do what they need to do to at least stay competitive.
Certainly possible. It's not my favorite pick of the week, but I do like getting a couple favorites, and then Denver at home. Denver at home as an underdog.
Tough place to play.
Just get out of here with that. They shouldn't be +116 at home.
My last pick is Bengals +2.5. Just a straight up hosting the Ravens. Bengals get 2.5. Give me 25 pesos on that.
What is that? Like -1?
-110.
110 minus. I've got -105 on here. We'll give you -105.
All right.
That's what I'm showing right here. That may have moved.
It may have moved in like the last 10 minutes.
It might have, just because we're talking about it. I've got another kind of a mixed parlay here. We talked earlier about Houston. They're laying 7.5 against the Cardinals, or they're laying 9.5 against the Cardinals, which I don't like that number, but I'm moving that to -6.5.
Okay.
And it only drops you to -180. So I'm taking that. I'm taking Cincinnati money line +120, and I am going Seattle -13.5 over the Colts. I'm laying those points, man, because I think the Colts are in real bad trouble. That gets me to +553. And I'm putting 30 pesos on that one.
All right, let's hope we both have a good week, but maybe I finally get on a little heater. Little bit better. Maybe a little better this week. Maybe a little bit better than that bizarro
alternate football broadcast that we watched.
All right,
last night.
So last night, this is the third year in a row they've done it. Disney
Yeah.
takes a Disney property and they do this alternate broadcast on Monday Night Football, and they use this new kind of technology.
Now, how new is this? Because you said at one point that
This is the third year in a row
Third
they've
year
done
they've
it.
done it.
So it's
Okay.
not brand new.
right.
But they do, it's called the Monsters Fun Day Football broadcast. They did it on Monday night this time. They use real-time animation, according to AI here. The actual NFL game between the Eagles and the Chargers was mirrored in real time. It was actually a couple minutes behind. And the announcers called the game as straight up as they possibly could, except when somebody made a big play, they put one of the monsters in the game as that main player.
It was bizarre. At one point, we had Mike Wazowski
From Monsters
from
Inc.
Monsters Inc. getting picked off by Sully, and it was I still struggle to even understand or explain this concept.
So there was a point in the game where Sully was playing quarterback. Sully. And they referred to him as Sully. They're like, oh, Justin Herbert is injured right now. So Sully is in a quarterback. So we should keep Sully in at quarterback because Justin Herbert has a broken hand. And I was just like, we have officially broken some sort of wall here.
I was going to say it bent the rules of
Reality.
credulity just to say those kinds of things.
Because clearly they're mirroring the game and they're talking about the game and using strategy with real players, except when one of the monsters was in the game. And then they were talking about the monsters should be in the game like that was a real thing that was happening.
So they had some leeway to do this. You noticed before I did that they were running this animated version of the game roughly 2 minutes behind.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously know what's happening so they can insert whomever.
So they have a few minutes, and that's even 2 minutes behind the broadcast, which is typically delayed 30 to 60 seconds anyway. So you got 3 minutes to look at a play and decide, okay, this is how we're gonna advance this narrative of the game. But I don't understand who this is for.
Okay, so let's talk about
where do we go with this
all
from
the
here?
things that are wrong with this.
Because it also should be noted that I'm talking to you about this, and at some point you were like, Christy is sitting here watching it, and which I didn't realize, and I didn't realize that this was happening at the time. You had Christy watching this, and she's like, I don't understand. Like, this is worse than an actual football game.
She said,
Aaron is going, what on earth is happening? Like, she's watching this. Except that we watched it for 2 hours.
Well, you guys did. I was hate watching it. I was so appalled by it that I was like, I don't understand why this is happening. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. And let me list the reasons.
Yeah.
The audience for this game are, like I said, people on shrooms, kids that are in bed
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
Because it's it's a
6 to 8 year old kids.
right.
Yeah.
Or maybe 10-year-olds, but still.
Yeah. Yeah.
So kids are in bed, people are on shrooms,
Or just very high.
or people like us that were hate watching it and going, what the fuck?
Right.
That's your audience.
So this brings me to the next question. Oh man, I could come up with a lot of different ways to phrase it. Why?
They had tons of pre-production on this too.
Yeah, they had a lot. Actual announcers, by the way, guys that usually call games for ESPN and ABC.
Billy Crystal is a New York guy, clearly a New York actor, well known for being a New York guy.
Yeah.
He is out at SoFi. He's at the game.
Yeah.
Of course, he's the voice of Mike.
Yeah.
And then,
But he's not doing the voice that game during that. Is he doing the voice of that game? He wasn't. There's no way he was actually doing that.
They pulled Sully out and had him do some messages, and that is obviously his voice guy, which is John. What's his name from John Goodman?
Yeah,
from Roseanne and many other things. But he did this thing where John Goodman had to do some pre-production and cut this piece of audio as Sully in the middle of the game.
So you don't think that they had some other voice actor that was
No,
close?
it was definitely John Goodman.
Definitely John Goodman?
Yeah, I mean, John Goodman has a very distinct voice.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. I mean, that part I didn't really catch. I didn't really process it at the time because everything else about it was so fucked up. I was like, what is going on? And it makes me wonder, like...
They did Toy Story last year, and they did The Simpsons the first year.
That's interesting. They did The Simpsons. I didn't think that Disney... Does Disney have the rights to The Simpsons?
I don't know why they did that.
Okay. And they've also done the Nickelodeon, like, Slime Fest overlay thing a few times. I've seen that here.
You said last night, this is another example of the league trying to grow its fan base.
Right.
This is the most popular league in the country right now, and one of the most popular leagues in the world.
Easily.
Probably not bigger than Formula One, which is insane in Europe.
Right. It's not bigger than European soccer.
It's not bigger than the Premier League, and it's not bigger than Formula One.
It's probably not bigger than, like, cricket is huge in India.
Yeah, there's an entire culture that we don't know anything about.
There are other sports. We're not saying here that the NFL is like one of the most, but the NBA is probably more popular worldwide than the NFL, but it's still, the NFL is a monster and trying to grow its fan base in this way. It's like, are you trying to teach kids football using this thing?
I don't know. It just feels like a combination of cartoons, wrestling, where you have announcers that are trying to give credibility to a sport that is predetermined. But in this case,
careful. You don't want to get the wrestling.
No, I was a huge wrestling fan as a kid. Yeah. Take nothing away from those guys, but they know who's going to win ahead of time.
Yeah.
This is not a legitimate athletic contest.
Right.
In this case, this is a legitimate athletic contest, but they are talking about animated characters like they are in the game when clearly they are not in the game.
I have so many questions. First of all, for the NFL, like, is this one of the ways, like, I'd love to know how much money they spent on this. I'd love to know what they expect to get out of that investment. Like, do you think that you're bringing in young kids and stoners who would otherwise not watch the NFL by having this broadcast on? I don't totally understand it. How soon should we segue into the other thing that we wanted to talk about with this?
Soon, because I'm just going to say to you, if you have a comment about this particular broadcast, please leave us a comment.
Yes.
We got called hillbillies this week.
We did.
I didn't even see that. We are, if you actually know some hillbillies, you would think that we are. What was the movie with Woody Harrelson and Kiefer Sutherland where they're cowboys in New York and
oh God, yeah,
Cowboy Up maybe I don't know what it was.
I don't know.
If you think we would be out of place like those guys were out of place, then sure, we're hillbillies.
Yeah.
But
so long story short, go in the comment. Please tell us, like, if you had any experience with this alternate broadcast that they did the other night. Well, I'd love to know, like, did you know about this? Did you catch any of it? What did you think about it? Because we're just baffled by it.
Yeah,
and to the point where, like, our wives who
don't give
generally
a shit about football.
Like, Erin watches more football because she's excited about the Bills because I'm excited about the Bills, and she's really a big Josh Allen fan, for I think reasons that are obvious. But Christy doesn't like to watch football.
No,
And she sat there and watched like
I turned it on. I was like, "You have to see this," and
Yeah.
she's like, "What am I watching?" And then she said the craziest thing I've ever heard her say, which was, "I would rather watch real football than this."
oh man.
That is saying
That's a scathing review.
Yeah, that is saying
of,
something.
of that broadcast. I think we can segue into this with why is it that it seems like everything has to be twisted into making it as broad of an appeal as possible these days?
I can tell you why that's happening in Hollywood. And maybe it just stretches across everything, because a couple of things have happened with us since COVID. And that is, we stopped going out as much. We stopped going to stores. We stopped going out to the movies as much. And I think there was a real dynamic shift in human behavior since the COVID-19 pandemic. And I don't know that we ever returned to the normal that we had before that.
Well, I don't think it was ever possible to go back to normal.
And we've had pandemics before, but if we go back and look at the history of those, they were life altering for. Their normal was never the same after that.
No, I don't think you can, because you learn something about. Society learns something about itself. You learn something about yourself and what you're given these new options for things to do and fill your time with. And it was already I think it was already going this way to begin with.
Maybe, yeah.
But I think we just we sped up the process with shutting everybody inside. Whether that's, I'm not, just to be clear, I'm not making any kinds of statements, whether it was right or wrong to shut down everything. That's not what I'm getting into here. What I'm saying is that whole thing, regardless of the reasoning behind it, has put us where we are today.
It changed our behavior.
It changed our habits. It changed the way that we consume media. It changed the kinds of things that we look for. It changed the way that, look, we've got this podcast. We do.
Podcasts have grown in great popularity, and people platforming themselves, so to speak,
we do this podcast here for anywhere between 80 and 120 minutes every week, and we get way more views on short clips of 30 to 90 seconds.
TikTok, right? Instagram, Facebook,
that's
YouTube
right.
Shorts.
Yeah, hit them all up. Sign up, like, subscribe. It's sort of this theory that I've been listening to. I don't know if I've been trying to get you to listen to Plain English, this podcast with Derek Thompson, where one of the things that he's been looking at lately is the decline of pop culture in general, largely since COVID, but really kind of leading up to that in the decade before. And another theory that he's sort of picked up from somebody else, which is called the enshittification of everything, which means just taking everything and dumbing it down so that it has the broadest possible appeal.
Okay.
Run with that for a second.
Tell
me if you think I'm right.
I'm not sure that is. Man, that is tough.
Are we going too broad with stuff? Like, you look at just take the superhero movies, for example. All the Marvel,
don't get me started.
DC.
They made those movies because they sold.
They made the movies because they sold, but they made them because the first batch of them that were really good, the Iron Mans, the Dark Knights,
the original Iron
Spider-Mans,
was fantastic.
Really good movies. And what they figured out was, these can be big money makers. How do we get more out of it? And the answer was, make it more broad, make it stupider, that more people will come out for it.
Here is a pretty good example of that. I was excited for I say original, but the theatrical version of Spider-Man that had Tobey Maguire in the lead role, which was early 2000s.
Somewhere in there. It was right around that era of Iron Man and movies like that.
Iron Man, the original Iron Man was a great film. Spider-Man, with the Tobey Maguire was a great film. and we were excited for that.
Yeah.
Then we got like 11,000 more versions of comic book super action hero movies, blah blah blah.
That number was 11,000, which I think is accurate.
They've done Spider-Man twice in live action since then, and they've done and the best version of it was the cartoon Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And I tell you, that may have been the best Spider-Man film, period, of all of them. But you had to think a little bit about that movie.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw that one or not.
So I've not seen the whole thing. I've sat down to watch it a couple times.
So,
I've not gotten through it. Not because it's not good. It's one of those I haven't got through yet.
So it deals with a kid that is not white. Mm-hmm. It deals with alternate universes, which takes away your religious folks, your hardcore religious folks. The lead character is not a white Caucasian. Okay. Same thing. Sorry, a white male. Sorry,
careful,
yeah,
careful.
Right. So you've already like gotten into some other areas where you whittle down your audience even further, and this is not a movie for 7-year-olds. They're not going to get it.
Right.
They may watch it and get a good laugh out of it, but it was more complex than that, because when you think of alternate universes and how you bend those together and a glitch in those universes, all of those things are like, you got to be able to think a little bit critically for those. And I think that was the best film out of the franchise, and it did really well. But like, I don't need the 4th iteration of Spider-Man.
Right.
I don't need the 3rd iteration of Superman. I definitely don't need a Batman versus a Superman, a human being with gadgets versus an alien with almost infinite power. So, miss me with that.
Yeah.
Miss me with the stupidest concepts of all time.
Right.
Like The Quick and the Dead, even though that movie was 25 years ago.
Except, do you think that that's the kind of thing that puts more asses in seats?
It definitely does. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made it.
Okay.
Or at least that's what they thought at the time.
Okay.
You know what's not selling now? Are big stars in movies that are not big events.
Okay.
And maybe that is, Julia Roberts is one of the greatest actresses of our time.
We covered this a couple weeks
George
ago.
Clooney, same deal.
Yeah, we covered this a couple weeks ago. There's dozens of movies that have come out in the last 10 to 15 years that have not really been widely seen with huge stars in them because they're not broad enough, right?
So when you talk about pop culture is getting shittier, I'm not sure what you mean by that. Like, hasn't it always kind of been shitty, especially in the internet era?
I think I feel like it's gotten worse in some ways. I think we're recycling a lot more ideas than we used to.
I would agree with that.
That's part of this in shitification of pop culture and of art and of movies, and take it right to music and everything, where we're recycling ideas, we're rebooting movies, the Spider-Man has been rebooted like 3 times.
Yeah.
Superman has been rebooted 4 times in this century.
Well, since I can remember, like the original Superman with Christopher Reeve came out in like 78, 79.
Yeah, exactly. And we keep rehashing old ideas. Now, and you can take that back to, okay, well, the original movies, you're just rehashing ideas that from comic books that started in the 1940s.
Sure.
So whatever. But original ideas within those concepts, like Iron Man, like The Dark Knight, like the original Spider-Man movies, it seems like those are fewer and far between now. And I do think it's starting to come back to where we'll have more original material. But this broadening of, taking this back to like the NFL and why they do a Monsters, Inc. themed broadcast, they must have some idea that this is going to put more eyeballs and ultimately more money in their pockets. How much more money does the NFL actually have to make at the expense of dumbing it down for the people who are actually invested in the game, in the quality of the sport, in enjoying a quality sport. And you can put this same concept to movies and music and TV and everything else.
Well, this is like they do the Peyton and Eli the Manning cast. It's just another variation that they're trying to get other people. Like, I can't stand to watch the Mannings call the game. I really don't like it.
I've tried it a couple times. It's tough. It's like sitting with two dudes talking. It's like, guys, shut up. I want to watch the game,
So I don't know that pop culture is worse than it was in the Entertainment Weekly era. But maybe it is. Maybe the internet has just sped everything up to a faster than human beings can grasp it.
Yeah, and maybe
so
it's
older guys like us are like, fuck that.
Well, that could be. That's the other thing is like how much is our Gen X, or how much are our Gen X sensibilities, which are spurious at best.
I mean,
how much is that influencing? Like, we just think that we're just saying we're like, we could be just two dudes sitting here going, "Get the fuck off my lawn."
I think that's certainly a possibility, but I don't think we're alone in saying this. That like everything is dumbed down to the point that nothing is good.
Yeah, I don't think that the NFL is not good because you're broadcasting it with Sully and Mike Wazowski taking the place of players in a cartoon, in an animated version of the game,
where they're actually talking about strategy.
Right.
That was that was my biggest hang up with it. It's like, don't talk strategy in this broadcast.
Right.
Like, don't talk about you have to play a zone defense. They were literally doing that.
Well, I wonder how much of that is trying to teach whoever it is that's watching this game, whether it's a 6-year-old or whether it's a guy who is higher than draft balls, teach them a little bit about football. Is that...
Seriously, if you have a take on this that we're not getting, feel free.
I'd love to know. We're going to make sure we cut this up into some shorts and get it out there, because that's the only way this content is going to get consumed anyway.
Unload in the comments, but I didn't understand that broadcast last night.
Yeah.
There are lots of things I don't understand about pop culture today, or just dislike.
Yeah.
I have seen enough late night television. I used to work in master control at WKYT, so I saw every version of the Late Show with David Letterman. I saw that for a year solid, and I don't know how that formula isn't tired. That is a formula that I think is going to go away soon.
Yeah,
because the kids just don't care to see Ariana Grande come out there and do her little cutesy act promoting her latest project, or the re-edition, the re-entering of the cinema of Wicked. Nobody wants to see that. Did you ever watch much Craig Ferguson?
Oh, I loved Craig Ferguson.
Ferguson does not play well.
He was old school. Man.
He does not play well in the 2020s.
No, that's
he
100% correct.
He was like not sexist, but just kind of like dirty, like a dirty old man.
Yeah, he was. We would have called it edgy back then.
Yeah.
Now he's like, that shit gets you canceled.
Quickly.
Yeah.
So I wonder if part of the PC-ness of the 2020s has taken the edge off of some things.
Is it a we're too sensitive kind of deal?
No, I think it is a.
I get a little nervous about saying those kind of things.
I don't believe that. We don't talk about politics on this show much, but I'm more left of center than most folks. Not because I'm not from a conservative area or a conservative family. I am. But I just, think people should be treated equally.
Sure.
Men and women and people that are living lifestyles that are not hetero.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
that's fair. And it's, yeah.
Or if different skin colors. I think we should treat everybody the same.
But so let's try to wrap this into the conversation here. Should you be trying to make content that is broad enough that it appeals to everybody, or is it okay for the NFL just to be fine with saying, we know what football fans want, we're going to give them that, and we don't have to fuck around with this
I don't
animated
understand.
stuff?
I don't understand this for them
Okay.
at all. I think that the dumbing down of content doesn't help anybody. I'll tell you this though, as a storyteller myself, and having spent half of my career telling stories, if you have a good, compelling story to tell, and you tell it well, it almost doesn't matter what medium it is,
Right.
how good your equipment is, whatever.
Yeah.
So, does the NFL put lipstick on a pig with this kind of broadcast? I don't know what they're thinking because their product is popular.
Yeah. How much is enough? That's
Yeah.
my question. How much is enough?
I don't know. But this is enough for this podcast.
You think we got it? I think we got it,
I
man.
think we got it.
We got hillbillies. We've also been called grandpa. We're gonna be getting called old ass hippies.
4 eyes.
Old ass hippie, hippie hillbillies after this one, man.
I've not worn my glasses for any broadcast.
Oh
but
gosh,
I
there
do
we
have
go.
them.
There we go.
I
Yeah,
do have them.
Yep.
But I see you. This distance is perfect. You're in focus.
See, I'm still kind of struggling with it. I'm still
Yeah.
a little bit. Of course, I can't do this because then, if you want to talk about old man look, there it is right there.
Yep.
So anyway, yeah, we got it. We don't have to belabor any more points here. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Hit us up on YouTube. Send us some comments. Bet small, lose small at Gmail. What am I missing?
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube.
Awesome. All right. We will probably be back next week.